Perhaps you've heard of the Titanic disaster that killed thousands of people, but do you know well about this event and its mysteries? Let's find out in the video. The Titanic was built in 4 years from 1909 to 1912, costing about $7.5 million, equivalent to $220 million today. Titanic has a length of up to 269 meters, just like 20 containers connected together. It is 28 meters wide and as high as an 11-floor building with a volume of about 46,000 tons. It was believed to be the largest movable artificial object on the planet at that time. And to move this monster, engineers installed 159 furnaces and 29 boilers. The total capacity reached 59,000 horsepower, equivalent to 100 container tractors. In terms of capacity, the Titanic can carry 3,547 people, including crews and customers. The ship also has a swimming pool, library, gym, bar, restaurant, and even an elevator. The interior of the ship is also very lavishly decorated, especially the first-class cabins. Its luxury is no different from the King's Palace. And another interesting thing is that with the most modern technology, the Titanic supership was attributed to being an unsinkable ship. But unfortunately, a disaster just happened on the very first day it was put into operation. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic started from England for a transatlantic voyage. On the trip, it had not only high-ranking officials, rich aristocrats, and many rich people, but also had two fathers of the ship. After stopping in France and the island, the ship arrived in New York with 2,240 passengers, and is where the disaster began. In fact, before the disaster, the Titanic had many problems before. First, it nearly crashed into the American SS New York ship. The second is that there was a small fire on the ship before that. However, there is a theory that this fire broke out and lost control, which caused the ship to rush at maximum speed to reach the next target, and is also the reason why it lost control and plunged into the iceberg. However, the truth is that at 11:30 at night on April 14, 1912, a crewman shouted when he saw the iceberg appeared from behind the fog and was crashing towards the ship. The captain immediately steered the ship as far as possible to the side. The passengers on the ship all prayed to God and waited for the iceberg to pass. And yes, the ice just crashed the ship, and there was no impact, and everyone was relieved. It seems that the disaster was over until the crew on the ship discovered that the sinking part of the iceberg had collided with the boat, creating a hole up to 90 meters wide. At this point, water was starting to rush into the ship, filling the gas chambers, and the ship was set to sink in the next an hour and 30 minutes. The rescues was immediately launched, and the lifeboats were lowered. Although the situation was extremely chaotic, everyone gave priority to women and children getting on the boat first. If there is still space left, men then can go up. Although there are about 20 boats, it's still not enough places for everyone, so many touching stories happened. A popular band, knowing they couldn't survive, calmly played one last song. Mr. Thomas Angrel, the ship's designer, still calmly smoked a cigarette and watched his child gradually sink. One of the richest men in the world took his wife on the boat, kissed her one last time, and said goodbye to her. Another wealthy businessman tried to push his wife on the lifeboat, but she insisted on staying with her husband until the last moment, so the two of them just sank with the ship. The Titanic finally sank into the ocean at 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912. The next morning, the rescue team was sent in, saving 705 lives. So there were total 1,535 people have been forever lying on the cold seabed. Through the Titanic disaster, we see that civilization is about giving weight to women and children. This is exactly the right about human spirit. That's all about the video today. See you next time.